Hello students, so I am here with the next topic, limitation of chemical equation. Before this topic I have already completed the information conveyed by a balanced chemical equation. So what are the information you get? First information is about the name of reactant and product. Second information is about the number of molecules of reactant and product. Third information is about the molecular mass of reactant and product. And if there is any gaseous product, then we have to express one molecule of any gas to occupy 22.4 liter as STP. Okay, so these are the information which we get by a balanced chemical equation, but still many informations are there which we are not getting by the equation. What are those informations? Actually these are the limitations of a chemical equation, because we are not getting these informations by a balanced chemical equation. Number one is physical state of reactant and product. We don't know what is the physical state, whether solid, liquid or gas of reactant and product. Then rate of reaction is not clear, whether the reaction is going fast or going slow. What is the speed of reaction is not given. Then whether heat is absorbed or evolved during a chemical reaction, this is also not known in balanced chemical equation. Then what is the concentration of reactant and product? Then whether the reaction is reversible or not, or the reaction has been completed or not. So these are the informations which still we are not getting by this balanced chemical equation. Then what we can do, or how we can modify our chemical equation to make it more informative, to get all these informations along with the balanced chemical equation. So first thing which we can add is the condition. Whatever the condition required by a chemical reaction, like at which temperature, pressure or in presence of which catalyst the reaction will proceed. So we have to mention all those conditions above or below the arrow. For example, if a reaction requires 450 degrees Celsius of temperature, 200 atmosphere pressure and presence of iron catalyst, all these conditions we have to show above or below the arrow. Second is about reversible reaction. अगर reaction reversible है, if the reaction is reversible, then in place of this single sided arrow we have to use this double sided arrow. Okay, and if heat is absorbed during the reaction, or if heat is involved in a chemical reaction, then we have to show this small triangular delta sign above the arrow. If this sign is present above the arrow, it means the reaction will proceed with the help of heat. Okay, then small s can be written for solid, small l for liquid and small g for gaseous reactant and product. And we can, in place of small g, we can also write upward arrow for gas. Okay, upward arrow shows the evolution of gas if it is coming as a product. Then how to explain or how to clear the concentration of acid, because acids are always used in their aqueous form. Okay, so whenever we are adding acid to water, that we may take more water, less acid, then it will be dilute, and if there is less water, then the type of acid will be concentrated. Okay, so what type of acid you are using for that particular reaction, you have to write along with the acid whether it is dilute or concentrated. Next, if there is formation of a precipitate. What is precipitate? Precipitate क्या होता है? When we are mixing two soluble substance and something insoluble is formed. ओके हमने दो सॉल्युबल सॉल्यूशन को मिक्स किया और कुछ इनसॉल्युबल बन गया. इनसॉल्युबल आपको दिख रहा है, समथिंग हैज बीन सेटल्ड डाउन और समथिंग इज फ्लोटिंग. That is known as precipitate, and formation of precipitate is shown by a downward arrow. Okay, then last point about heat. If heat is evolved, so this is reactant, this is the arrow and this is product. If heat is evolved, then you can write plus heat on the product side, and if heat is absorbed, then you can write minus heat on the product side. So these are the various information which we can add in order to make our equation more informative. Okay, now coming to next topic, which is about relative atomic mass. As the name indicates, relative atomic mass, it is not the actual atomic mass, it is the atomic mass which is measured in relation with the standard unit, or in relation with the mass of an atom which is being taken as a standard unit. Okay, so that's why it is a relative atomic mass. Let me begin with the brief history, then it will it will be more clear to you. Slowly when elements were discovering, तो जब भी एलिमेंट डिस्कवर होते हैं साइंटिस्ट क्या करते हैं, फर्स्ट दे फाइंड आउट द मास ऑफ दैट एटम. एक्चुअली इट इज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट to measure the mass of an atom. You know that atoms are invisible, they are so small, they are so tiny. You can easily assume that how it was difficult to calculate the mass of the atom. So indirectly with some physical method, so atomic mass of the atom was calculated. So hydrogen, you know, the first element and the lightest element, its atomic mass was also calculated, 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. This is the actual mass of hydrogen. बहुत छोटी वैल्यू है, very minute. Then other elements were discovered. So they thought that instead of wasting our time in calculating the actual mass of all the atoms, it will be easier for us to calculate the mass of the newly discovered element in relation with the mass of one atom of hydrogen. उनको लगा जितने भी एलिमेंट डिस्कवर हो रहे सबका एटॉमिक मास निकालेंगे बहुत मुश्किल होगी, किसी तरह से मास निकल भी आया तो उसको यूज़ करना बहुत मुश्किल होगा, बिकॉज दैट वैल्यू इज़ टू स्मॉल. सो व्हाई डोंट वी टेक द मास ऑफ वन एटम ऑफ हाइड्रोजन एज अ स्टैंडर्ड वैल्यू एंड वी कैन रिलेट द other atoms, the newly discovered atoms, in relation with the mass of one atom of hydrogen. तो जो बाकी के एटम डिस्कवर होते जा रहे हैं तो हम उसको हाइड्रोजन के मास से रिलेट करके देख लें. अच्छा ये हाइड्रोजन से 2 टाइम्स ज़्यादा भारी है, अच्छा ये एटम जो हमने डिस्कवर किया ये हाइड्रोजन से 3 टाइम्स भारी है, ये हाइड्रोजन से 5 टाइम्स भारी है. तो इस तरह से उन्होंने बाकी एलिमेंट्स के मास को फाइंड आउट करने का एक ईजियर मेथड अपने लिए तैयार किया. विदाउट कैलकुलेटिंग द एक्चुअल मासेस दे स्टार्टेड गेटिंग द मास of those newly discovered element in relation with the mass of one atom of hydrogen. Then they replaced hydrogen with कार्बन. फिर उनको लगा कि हाइड्रोजन जिससे हम एक स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट मान रहे हैं वो तो अर्थ के एटमॉस्फेयर, अर्थ क्रस्ट में ज़्यादा प्रेजेंट ही नहीं है. यू नो हाइड्रोजन इज़ ओनली प्रेजेंट इन ट्रेसेस. हाइड्रोजन इज़ abundantly present in universe, but in earth crust it is only present in traces. So they selected one abundant element of the earth crust, carbon, as a standard unit for which they can calculate the mass of other elements in relation with one mass of one atom of carbon. अच्छा, one atom of carbon का जो actual mass है वो है 1.99 to 10 power minus 23 grams. It is also very small value. So they replaced hydrogen with carbon. Now they selected one atom of carbon as a standard unit and they decided to relate the mass of other elements with the mass of one atom of carbon. And how that relation was? That relation is the relative atomic mass. So actually relative atomic mass क्या है? It is number of times one atom of an element is heavier than 1/12th of the mass of carbon 12. जो 1/12th द मास ऑफ कार्बन 12 है उससे वो पर्टिकुलर एलिमेंट जो न्यूली डिस्कवर एलिमेंट है वो कितने टाइम्स ज़्यादा हैवियर है. सो एक्चुअली रिलेटिव एटॉमिक मास इज मास ऑफ वन एटम ऑफ एलिमेंट अपॉन 1/12th द मास ऑफ कार्बन 12. अभी ये थोड़ा टिपिकल लग रहा है लेकिन ये एग्जाम्पल से ज़्यादा ईजी लगेगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जनरली यू नो ऑक्सीजन का एटॉमिक मास लिखते हैं 16. But what actually 16 is? 16 is not the actual mass of oxygen. Oxygen 16 ग्राम का तो बहुत 16 ग्राम is a big value which you can see. 16 ग्राम तो हम इसको मान ही नहीं सकते. Then what this 16 represent? 16 means it is 16 times heavier than 1/12th the mass of carbon 12. Is it clear? So if the mass of sodium is 23, what does it mean? It is 23 times heavier than 1/12th the mass of carbon 12. And what is this 1/12th mass of carbon 12? ये 1/12th mass of carbon 12 जो है that is known as atomic mass unit. That's why you may have seen in the book somewhere that mass of oxygen is written as 16 AMU. In place of writing 16 times heavier than 1/12 the mass of carbon 12, तो ये 1/12 the mass of carbon 12 क्या है? It is taken as atomic mass unit. So that's why 16 is the 16 atomic mass unit is we write for oxygen, because oxygen, one atom of oxygen is 16 times heavier than 1/12 the mass of carbon 12. In the same way, one atom of sodium is 23 times heavier than 1/12 the mass of carbon 12. So mass of sodium is taken as 23 AMU, that is atomic mass unit. So I hope what is the relative atomic mass may be clear to you now, because we can't find the actual mass of every atom, because it is a very difficult procedure, and if we somehow get the actual mass, that value is so small, it's so minute value that it will be very difficult for us to use such values in our calculation. अभी हमें molecular mass calculate करना है, तो molecular mass calculate करने के लिए हम atomic masses को add करेंगे तब molecular mass calculate होगा, but if such values you are using, then it will be very difficult. So in place of actual masses, we are always using the mass of that atom in relation with the mass of carbon 12. Okay, so that's why all these values which we are getting, they are not the actual mass of the atom, they are the relative atomic mass of the atom. Okay, so in my next video I will explain the relative molecular mass and then percentage composition. Now I am sending you a pic of exercise 1B, so please try to solve all these questions, and please send your doubts whatever is there. Okay.